don't sell your Bitcoin right here, right now, because Bitcoin is your portfolio insurance and you got to focus on the other part of your portfolio. All paths lead to Bitcoin. All paths. You talk about Jeff Goose, deflationary path, it leads to Bitcoin. You talk about QE infinity and stealth QE infinity and this BTFP, which, by the way, BTFP, backstop the fiat Ponzi. Okay, that's what this funding program is that the Fed has started. Backstop the fiat Ponzi because, very simple, mathematics, debasement is 100% certain. I've never seen a simpler trade in my whole life, and I call it a trade even though it's an investment.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have veteran trader Greg Foss discussing investment opportunities in Bitcoin, crypto, and what we can expect in the market in 2023. Foss believes that despite the current uncertainty about digital assets, there will be massive investment opportunities coming, whether it be in short cycles of Bitcoin or in the long economic cycles of a traditional market. He says Bitcoin serves as portfolio insurance, providing a backstop to the fiat Ponzi in the face of deflation, QE infinity, or endless quantitative easing by the Fed and the devaluation of currencies. Foss also believes that the banking system has always been sick and encourages people to uncover the inner workings of the fundamentally flawed financial system. Let's get right into the latest interview with Greg Foss as he shares his Bitcoin prediction and where the market is headed in 2023. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It's a tremendous help for the growth of the channel and helps us bring you more content just like this.
And so I have this thesis on credit default swaps, and you can actually value Bitcoin because everyone says Bitcoin has no intrinsic value, blah, 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 blah. Well, go full circle. And Mike Novogratz, who you love him or hate him, the man is a big man in finance, tweets out today, Bitcoin is a credit default swap on sovereign debt. Think about it. And I've been inundated. Novo, Greg Foss has been saying this for years. Novo tweets this thing out. And I'm like, well, okay, my thesis is getting around because I can calculate the value of Bitcoin using credit default swaps on the United States and show you that Bitcoin should be trading at over $200,000 today on USA debt alone based on insurance prices for that debt. I honestly believe more than ever, the banking crisis that we are going through right now will be reflected in sovereign debt credit spreads. And the value of Bitcoin intrinsically goes up as bank stocks go down. And I can show you the exact correlation using credit default swaps. Hey, you don't have to buy the thesis, but don't listen to Charlie Munger and don't listen to Steve Hanke, who says it has no intrinsic value. They are wrong and they are going to expire. They're past their best before date. They'll expire. They shouldn't buy green bananas, right? You know the story. Money wasn't ever actually, or barter actually never existed. What happened in tribes is, and this is according to Cesar, is that let's say the tribe went out and killed a buffalo and people needed buffalo meat. The hunter would decide, okay, I owe money, or not money, I owe food to this person because they gave me some chickens at one point. And what money was a ledger of your debts that you owed to other hunters in the tribe over time if you had taken something from them. And then that ledger made sense because it could have been seashells, it could have been rocks, it could have been, in the case of North American Indians, wampum, or, it eventually went to gold as being this ledger. So I see what you're saying, Jeff. It makes a lot of sense from that side as well. I guess I'll just firmly plant myself right in the middle here and say, it's not happening quickly because the other system is just so big and so ingrained that you can't change it overnight. And by the way, I don't want to change it overnight. And I don't think Jeff does either. We've talked about this network transfer where it's not like a light switch. You turn one off and you turn one on. The network grows in parallel. And I think we're seeing that happen right now. The people that are coming into this Bitcoin community are blowing my mind. I finished reading Jason Lowry's book, Software, which is 400 pages of absolute intense, in my opinion, brilliance. Other people might think it's intense drivel, but please read it because I am blown away by the intelligence of this young man. It's a little repetitive, but everyone says Foss is repetitive too because we repeat ourselves because people don't listen. So you have to say the
You're
same
just
thing
good at
6 ways. The price actually starts being correlated to increased risk means increased price of Bitcoin, meaning a long volatility asset again. So sorry to jump in front of you, Jeff, but John said a word, suboptimal. And every time I hear that word, it makes me think of that doorknob, Jim Cramer, right? So do you guys watch Jim Cramer? Because he uses that word all the time. Suboptimal.
How dare you, Jeff? How dare you compare me to Jim Cramer?
No, me. Sorry, that was Foss. So look, I'm losing battery here, but here's the key thing. I'm down to my last 5% of battery power on my iPad here. So if I lose you guys, it's only because I want to leave you with this. Jim Cramer's a moron, okay? He's the law. So suboptimal, you reminded me of him. Don't sell your Bitcoin right here, right now, because Bitcoin is your portfolio insurance, and you got to focus on the other part of your portfolio. All paths lead to Bitcoin. All paths. You talk about Jeff Booth's deflationary path, it leads to Bitcoin. You talk about QE infinity and stealth QE infinity and this BTFP, which, by the way, BTFP, backstop the fiat Ponzi. Okay, that's what this funding program is that the Fed has started. Backstop the fiat Ponzi because, very simple, mathematics, debasement is 100% certain. I've never seen a simpler trade in my whole life, and I call it a trade even though it's an investment. Fiat debasement is 100% certain in all scenarios. That's advantageous to people who are uncertain how they should approach that because there's no doubt. It's 100% certain. Yep. You know, it's really an asymmetric investment, but you got to trade something to get into it. You're trading fiat to get into it, and then you keep it for as long as your thesis is in line. But it's an investment, 100%, 20-year investment. But here's the coolest thing. You know that fiat debasement is 100% certain, and the gold bugs have known this for a long time, but they're holding an inferior hard asset. But don't sell your gold to buy Bitcoin. Don't sell real estate necessarily to buy Bitcoin. Sell your bonds. Hey, Preston, your bonds. Those are fiat contracts. Those are programmed to debase. Sell your bonds to buy Bitcoin. That's the simplest trade I've ever seen. And 3 years ago, when I wrote my paper to get me to become really good friends with you guys, I think I'm a friend. So I'll just say this. 3 years ago, I saw this coming. I've been ambulance chasing on the bond market since then. Bonds have probably reached a historical fair value level if fiat debasement wasn't 100% certain. But fiat debasement's 100% certain, and bonds are a fiat contract. So you still shouldn't own bonds for the long term. You can pretend you can trade them, but picking up nickels in front of a steamroller is never a wise investment or trading advice. So all of these paths lead to Bitcoin, John.
Foss believes that Bitcoin will capture 5% of the global market. When calculating the expected value of investments, he weighs probabilities and statistics and shows how Bitcoin will be the leading asset in the market. As long as Bitcoin is trading at less than his current price target of $2 million, he still views it as cheap, especially given the 10x price increase it goes through every 4 years. With the current volatility in the market, we could see the price skyrocket in the next few months. What do you think about Greg Foss's prediction for Bitcoin in 2023? And how do you think the current banking crisis will play out in the coming weeks? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.